Hi everyone, say hello. I'm here today to do a bit of a tutorial about cleaning brushes. This is using the e.l.f. brush shampoo. So I've got my brushes here. I've also got a blending wedge, and you can buy these from e.l.f. as well. To start with, I'm just going to run the tap. This is a warm tap. There's a sort of a minimal flow there. That's going to get quite hot, so I'm going to turn that up slightly. Just mix in some colours so it's not too hot. I want it to be warm, not very hot. That's about right. Kind of a low flow, like so. So I've got my sponge here, but what I'm first going to do is for big brushes like this, I'm going to start by just wetting them. And this just takes off any loose product, so I don't have to scrub too much. I'm going to pop that to one side. I'm just doing this with the fluffy brushes because they are more dense. So I've got here a mixture. I've got the studio brushes and one or two of the regular ranges. These are made of Taclon, which is a kind of polymer. So basically it dries really quickly, so it's completely synthetic, and they're easy to shape and mould back. They're quite sort of hard wearing as well. So I've got some of the brush shampoo here. It has kind of a sort of a peachy smell. So it's kind of fruity, quite strong, so rinse it out well. But it leaves your brushes, smelling really nice. So I'm going to take a squeeze of this onto a damp sponge, like this. And then I'm going to take, this is the blusher brush, and I'm going to work it. And you can see immediately all of the blush is coming out. Now the brush shampoo doesn't foam up very much if you've got a lot of product on your brushes. Well, that's actually cleaned it really well. But to make sure, squeeze out your brush, just place on a tiny amount, about the same you would if you were washing your hands. And then you know that your brush is clean because this starts to foam up. So that's pretty good. I'm going to put that to one side and just give that a really good rinse. And I'm kind of pushing downwards and not taking the water past this sort of spoolie bit here. You don't really want the water to get in to the brush, otherwise it will reduce the lifespan. And you can see I'm just gently squeezing out that water. Give it a tap. Shape the brush back into its natural shape. And then I've popped it here on a towel. Just sort of lay it nice and flat. And now I'm going to do the complexion brush. So I've got lots of soap on here anyway. And I'm going to work it into that brush. Squeeze the sponge a little, and that will sort of release some soap and some foam into the bristles. I kind of quite like this shampoo because it's not too foamy. I used to use face wash or a baby shampoo or a gentle shampoo, and they work fine, but they are quite foamy, so they're difficult to rinse out. Whereas I think this one has been designed, like many other brush shampoos, so that it doesn't have too much foam, because otherwise you could be rinsing these out for what seems like ages. So we'll do that again, just give ourselves a clean sponge. I'm going to take a few other brushes. I've got the regular line, the blender brush, just damping that off, getting off anything that's loose and working that in. And now that it's started foaming up, I know that the shadow that was in there has come out. I'm giving that a really good rinse, just running my finger through the bristles so that I'm really making sure it's clean. Squeeze it out, shape it, pop it on my clean towel over here. Now I've got the C brush. I'm going to rinse out whatever I can from that. And I've got enough shampoo in here, you don't need very much. You might find, oh, it's not foaming up, or it's not working like a regular shampoo. It doesn't have to. I mean, the foaming is more of a pleasing action than anything. So yeah, that's getting really clean, and that had quite a lot on there. That's the C brush. Put that to one side. Give that a rinse and squeeze. Get the rest of the water out. Pop it over here. I'm just going to do one more brush for you, and this is the fan brush. Squeeze it out, make sure it's clean. And put bit on here and work it through. Now the fan brush is quite delicate, so I tend to squeeze the shampoo onto it and then gently sort of stroke it through and then work through the bristles. Give it a rinse and do it again. It's not the kind of brush that you can really scrub like that. It's not going to go out of shape, it's just you don't want to bend the bristles because it can make them more fragile. And also there won't be a lot of dirt on a fan brush because most of it's sort of loose material. So all I'm doing is just gently soaping it and rinsing it out like this. And then squeeze it dry, lightly reshape it and leave it to one side. So that is, I'm going to dry my hands before I try and turn the thing off. And you can leave them like this to dry, or you can lay them down. Sometimes I put them in the airing cupboard. Because they're Taclon, these aren't going to suffer the same as natural hair brushes. They won't dry out in the same way, so they are a lot hardier and they can put up with a lot more conditions. So you can either leave them in here to dry, pop them on a windowsill with natural air, or pop them in the airing cupboard. So thank you for watching. That was my brush cleaning tutorial.